All praises to Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem Makakwadash. Double honors to the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone, and Shalom to the elect of the nation of Israel. This is going to be a scripture going into why the Lord says not to trust in uncertain riches, and why we shouldn't be hoping to be rich in this society that's corrupt, because ultimately these riches are uncertain. Alright, and I'm just going to read this article about the Squid Game coin that came out and how loads of people pretty much lost a lot of money from this. So I'm going to read this. It says, Squid Game cryptocurrency scammers make off with 3.3 million. The anonymous hucksters behind a Squid Game cryptocurrency have officially pulled the rug on the project, making off with an estimated $3.38 million. Now, for people that don't know what Squid Game is, it's pretty much it's pretty much Netflix's top show ever. All right, no TV show has ever had more views than this TV show. And what this show's about is a underground society by where people fight to the death, pretty much. So like spoilers if anyone ain't watched it, but pretty much people fight to the death in order to win large sums of money to get out of the debts that they're in. All right, which I guess it maybe is a little bit ironic, because people was trying to get out of their debts, I guess, by probably trying to do this Squid Game coin, man. They was trying to get rich too from this Squid Game coin, but the Lord wasn't with that. He says, remember on Friday morning when Gizmodo told you it was an obvious scam? It was only obvious because investors could purchase the crypto but couldn't sell it. So here it is. The whole point of cryptos and stocks is so that people can buy them at a low price, or buy them at one price and then hopefully sell it at another price. But if they see that they're losing their money, then they can sell it at a slightly lower price in order to reduce the amount of money that they have lost. And I saw other articles, and I don't know if it's going to say in this article, but pretty much people lost like 99.999% of their whatever they put into this, man, which is basically ain't got nothing left. There's only that's only 0.1 away from nothing. Well, 0.01 away from nothing. It was obvious. It says it was obvious. It was also like it was only obvious because investors could purchase the crypto but couldn't sell it. But plenty of people didn't get the warning in time. The Squid cryptocurrency peaked at a price of $2,861 before plummeting to around zero around 5:40 a.m. According to the website CoinMarketCap, this kind of theft, commonly called a rug pull by crypto investors, happens when the creators of the crypto quickly cash out their coins for real money, draining the liquidity pool from the exchange. So people, like, from what I've heard, from looking into this, man, because I was paying attention to this after I heard these stories, man, and like, I was paying attention to this, and it went from a value of like 0.0007 to $2,861, and it was something crazy like a 200,000% increase in like a short period of time, like maybe a week or 2 weeks. So a lot of people would have been looking at loads of money, loads of profits, but then when they tried to come and take that money out to get and would have made a profit on that, they wasn't able to. Here we go. I'm carrying on reading this. It says, the Squid crypto coin was launched just last week and included plenty of red flags, including a 3-week-old website filled with bizarre spelling and grammatical errors. The website, hosted at squidgame.cash, has appeared along with every other social media presence set up by the scammers. You can see an archived version of the website here, and these cryptocurrencies and all of these things, and like casting lots and all of this kind of stuff, right? These are things that brothers do. I've did these things to try and test the waters to see if Yahweh's going to be with it, in order to make me some money, right? In order to like boost our finances in this hellhole that we're living in, right? Because it's hard for Israelites to be able to do certain things in this place. So any help we can get, we'll try and jump onto these things, man. That's the reason why Israelites do things like cast lots, because rich people don't gamble. Rich people don't gamble, man. And rich people make cryptocurrencies in order for people to buy them. They ain't really the ones buying them for the most part. And that's why they don't get tricked by the scams. They make the scams. These people made this coin and ran off with $3.3 million, man. Let me carry on reading this. It says, you can see the archived version of the website here. Let me carry on reading. Other red flags include the fact that Squid's Telegram channel, set up by the unknown scammers, didn't allow comments from outsiders, and this Twitter account made it impossible for anyone to reply to posts. So there was basically loads of signs that people had in order to see that this was dodgy, man. And there's loads of signs in this world to see that even if you do get rich in this world, man, you're not gonna be able to properly enjoy the riches, man, because this society is still corrupt. So even if you do get the riches in this corrupt world, there'll be loads of scumbags that'd want to steal your things anyway. There's too many snares in this place. This is 1 Timothy chapter 6 and verse 17. Charge them that are rich in this world, that they be not high-minded. So don't get proud because you're rich, man. Nor trust in uncertain riches. So don't get cocky because you've got money. Because Yahweh don't like that. Don't get cocky because you've got a little bit of money or a lot of money in your bank account and you're thinking that you've got it made, you got it together, which is what a lot of these people that would have bought this Squid Game coin would have been thinking. Oh, it's gone up this amount of percent. Loads of people are struggling to buy it, so I'm going to buy it, and I'm going to turn $1,000 or £1,000 into 20,000 in 2 weeks. That's what they would have been thinking. They wouldn't have had no thought in their mind like this maybe might not work. That's how these money people are, man. When it comes to these money people, they think that there's no possible way, for the most part, that they could ever not make them not lose, man. And that's why it's good that these things are happening to people, because it's showing us that believe in Yahweh Shem Yahushai that there's so many snares around, man. It says, 1 Timothy chapter 6 and verse 17, charge them that are rich in this world, that they be not high-minded, nor trust in uncertain riches, but in the living power, who giveth us richly all things to enjoy. So Yahweh ultimately is going to give us things. It's not money that gives you things in this world. It's Yahweh that gives you things, because fruit exists, right? Houses exist without money. It doesn't take physical paper money to make a house. It doesn't take physical paper money to make a car. These things exist apart from money. Food exists. You can eat without money. People might say, no, you can't. Yes, you can. Food exists without money. Now, somebody might say, well, you need money to buy food, when really, ultimately, Yahweh feeds us, man. But this type of mindset is for people with faith. It's not for people that don't have any faith. And that's why people that don't have any faith are going to become zombified for these cryptocurrency things. They're going to become zombified for stocks. They're not going to know that no matter how much money I do make, when it comes to the day of the Lord, I'm going to have to cast that stuff away, because ultimately that's not what I'm hoping for. That's not my end goal, to be rich in this society. I'm hoping for the new society. I've got all my faith in the new society, but I'm just doing things in this world to get by. That's the mindset that people are supposed to have. That's the mindset that we're supposed to have when it comes to this thing, man. Let me verse 18. That ye do good, that they do good, that they be rich in good works, ready to distribute, willing to communicate. So even if you do have some riches, you're not supposed to be selfish and hoard it away. Like that dragon from Lord of the Rings, man. Desolation of Smoke, he was just hoarding up all the gold, man, like what Esau does. Esau would be rich as hell, right? And just hoard away every single coin and every single penny for himself that he ain't ever gonna even be around to use, man. And he could like help major things in the world with like probably 1% of his total wealth, but he ain't gonna do that. He's gonna keep the world jacked up so that people are trying to do anything they can to try and get money, and they're getting robbed. Like how people got robbed with this. I'm kind of reading a bit more. It says, but the biggest red flag was that no one who purchased the coin was able to sell. But there was that no one that purchased the coin was able to sell. That didn't stop mainstream news outlets like BBC, Yahoo News, Business Insider, Fortune, and CNBC from running headlines about how the new Squid Game cryptocurrency had soared by 83,000%. And all of these things, I just was thinking about this as well, because I thought about this when I heard this before. Buy these cryptocurrencies that are scams, robbing people and rinsing them out for their money, right? What that's going to do is make governments step in and say, okay, we don't really think that the cryptocurrency is a bad idea, but we're going to regulate it so that these kind of things can't happen anymore. And there's already governments making their own cryptocurrencies, and there's brothers that do videos on that. I know that the brother in Great Millstone in the London camp, that's GMS Fear the Most High, he does videos on these topics about the cryptocurrencies, the CN central banking cryptocurrencies. I know he does videos on those. And then the other brother from the GMS Dallas camp, he does videos on this crypto stuff as well. And they go into this about how governments have got their own cryptocurrencies, and by people getting scammed by these things, that's how they'll bring in their own. And also by people losing money in these things, that's another way to reduce people's wealth, man. So that people become more reliant on the government, which is also another goal of Esau, because he wants all, both rich and poor, small and great, free and bond, to receive the mark. Let me carry on reading this. It says, this is just the late... Okay, did I read that bit? It says, the biggest red flag was that no one who purchased the coin was able to sell. That didn't stop mainstream news outlets like the BBC, Yahoo News, Business Insider, Fortune, and CNBC from running headlines about how the new Squid Game cryptocurrency had soared by 83,000%, over just a few days. So it went up 83,000% in a few days, man. So that's like what? Increasing whatever you put into something by, I believe, 830 times, man. If I'm not mistaken. I believe that would be increasing what you make by 830 times. If you get an increase of 83,000%. And if I'm wrong, so lucky, you can just do a quick Google search and find out exactly what kind of increase it would be if you increase something by 83,000%. And also, now that I've just read this as well, I was thinking about how I've seen articles about how there's a new cryptocurrency that they're promoting as well, called Floki Inu. And they've been promoting this on buses in London. They've been promoting it on the underground. They're going to promote it in December on news, on different news stations across the world, from the start of December to the end of December, I've heard. And that's going to be could be potentially another dodgy thing where people lose their money, man, or where people pour their money into something, but then there's not really a use for these things yet worldwide. So you still have to convert it back into normal money. There's so much stuff with this thing, man, that you can just tell that it's ultimately gonna cling on to the beast system, man. And it's just to get people used to digital forms of payments, even more so. It says, this is just the latest example of scammers utilizing pop culture to get media attention. A similar rug pull occurred earlier this year with Mando, a cryptocurrency that used images from Disney's Mandalorian TV show without permission from Disney, of course. Does this mean that investors have finally learned their lesson and won't invest in shady cryptocurrency projects anymore? That seems unlikely. Scam artists love the crypto space because it's incredibly difficult to differentiate the scammers from someone who earnestly trying to create a legitimate cryptocurrency. Perhaps because the idea of making your own currency is inherently fraudulent. And that sounds like another reason why they'd be like, well, we're going to have to step in as government to stop this kind of stuff from happening, because people are innocent people. That's how they're trying to spin it. Innocent people are losing in this world. You know how Esau is. Let me carry on reading this. It says, the Squid Game cryptocurrency plunging to zero on Monday morning after the crypto developers pulled out their entire interest. There's a reason traditional currency has largely been a domain. You see what I mean? There's a reason traditional currency has largely been the domain of governments throughout recorded history. Everyone participating in a given society needs to agree that a currency is worth something. So, like I said, man, that's gonna be an excuse and a reason to bring in the government types of cryptocurrencies, the CB, Slovakia, man, the central banking digital currencies, man, CBDCs, Slovakia. Let me read this again. There's a reason traditional currency has. There's a reason traditional currency has largely been the domain of governments throughout recorded history. Everyone participating in a given society needs to agree that a currency is worth something, and there are few institutes. It's like there are few institutions outside of government that can lead credibility to something so important. Libertarians will tell you otherwise, but we'll have to disagree on this one. Does this mean you can't make money trading crypto? Obviously, there's a lot of people making real dollars in in the crypto space, selling mainstream coins like Bitcoin or even smaller coins like Shiba Inu, which have skyrocketed in price recently. But just because people are making money at at it today doesn't mean it'll be around forever. And that even goes for the people that have made money on the Bitcoin and the Shiba Inu as well, and the Ethereum and all of these different ones. Because just because you've made money now doesn't mean that something can't come into place by where them coins become void. Because there's not really many uses worldwide for these things anyway. And if people can find some uses some place where you can spend these things, there ain't really too many places you can spend them. I know that some cinemas are accepting this Shiba Inu one. I believe AMC Cinema is going to start accepting it. And I've heard that the car company Tesla is potentially going to start accepting some types of cryptocurrency as well, if they're not already. But anyway, let me carry on reading this. Which have skyrocketed in price recently. But just because people are making money at it today doesn't mean it'll be around forever. Cryptocurrency will only survive if people have faith that it's real money. And that sentiment can change from day to day, and that's what the plan is going to be. When governments start making their own ones, when governments start stepping in and making this be the new money type. And then if you look on the internet, there's videos out there, and maybe I'll try and find one of the videos and repost it onto this channel. But there's videos out there where they're getting cryptocurrencies and they're putting it into microchips to allow people to be able to spend that. And that's can be, I'm not gonna say that's definitely one of the ways that they're gonna spin it, but that is really looking like that's one of the ways that they're gonna try and get people to get this thing, man, get this mark. If you're going to buy cryptocurrency, the most important thing to look out for isn't necessarily the price. First, figure out whether you can sell the coin after you bought it. If you can't sell, like the people who invested in Squid discovered they can't, it doesn't matter how high the price goes, which is true. There ain't no point having something that's priced at $50,000, let's say, right? But then you can't sell it. Just like how there's no point having something that you think's worth a lot and you put in a high price on it, but really nobody wants to buy it anyway. There'd be no point. Let me carry on reading this. Who invested in Squid discovered that they can't. It doesn't matter how high the price goes, just as it doesn't matter how large a number, just how it doesn't matter how large a number someone writes on monopoly bills. Exactly. Cryptocurrency is only worth what someone else is willing to pay for it. And if the rules say you can't even sell, you've just been scammed. Exactly. And these people got scammed, man, because they was trusting these rich people, because it's rich people that can get access to doing all of these things, man. It's rich people that hear about these things and know how to do certain stuff like this, man. It's the rich people that try and put their money into these things. And I heard another story about how somebody put their money, someone's aunt put money into one of these coins. I heard a news article, and someone put like 200,000 into one of these coins, and it went down by like 50,000 within like the first 24 hours after she did it, man. Because these people, let me get a scripture on that, man. These people are trusting in riches, but the scriptures talk about not doing that. And these people are going to find out that these riches that they was trusting in ain't worth a damn anyway. This is Wisdom of Solomon chapter 5 and verse 8. What hath pride profited us? Or what good have riches without vaunting brought us? All those things are passed away like a shadow, and as a post that hasted by. So all the riches that people do, even if all these people would have pulled out this money and would have been able to make this money that they thought they was going to make, right, from these high percentage increases, it's still not going to save them. It's still not going to save them. Even the toughest man in the world, no matter how tough of a guy he is with fighting, that ain't going to save him. And I was watching a video to mention that. Now I've talked about that. I was watching a video by where some UFC fighters was fighting against some Marines, and they was using like toy fake weapons, right? And the UFC fighters was losing. The UFC fighter was losing in these like fake fights to the death, by where they had fake weapons and it was like pretending to fight to the death. But anyone would agree that UFC fighters are mighty men. But when it comes to trying to fight and boast yourself in these things, there'll be somebody else that's better than you. We're not now in the days and ages of where one man can take on 10 men. That's really a thing for Yahweh, but Yahweh's put a big spirit in you to do these kind of things, man. Or a thing that you only see in movies, really. Because them MMA fighters, when it came to the 2-on-1s on that video, was getting messed up, man. And I might do a video on that after this, to be fair. This is Jeremiah chapter 9 and verse 23. Thus saith the Lord, let not the wise man glory in his wisdom, neither let the mighty man glory in his might, let not the rich man glory in his riches, but let him that glorieth glory in this, that he understandeth and knoweth me, that I am Yahweh, which exercise loving kindness, judgment and righteousness in the earth. For in these things I delight. Saith the Lord. So we ain't supposed to boast in our money. But somebody that's got 100,000 in the bank and a job that pays that much annually, they're going to be boosted with pride, man. The pride levels are going to go through the roof because they ain't struggling. And even them, when it comes to wealth in general anyway, they're not as nowhere near as rich as they think they are compared to the elites. But that person will still be consumed with pride. And then people that have the money of the elites, they're going to be consumed with pride even more so. And I'm going to end this lesson there, man. Like, don't trust. We shouldn't trust, and that goes for me as well. We all shouldn't trust in these riches, man. And it's just like, it's also a beautiful thing to show that Yahweh sets a lot of these things up as snares to our enemies, man. All praises to Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem Makak Wadash, and Shalom to the elect to the nation of Israel. Shalom.